Investigators in Iran are blaming what they called a misaligned missile battery and miscommunication for the downing of a Ukrainian airliner, which killed 176 people, including dozens of Canadians, back in January. The details were uncovered in a newly released report from Iran's Civil Aviation Organization. Rebecca Collard is following all of the details from Beirut. Rebecca, what can you tell us at this point?
Yeah, Natasha, so this report was released late last night, and it's really the most detailed report that we've had so far from the Iranian government. It says that the key error was this thing that you just talked about, this misalignment of the Iranian radar system, and that human error essentially set off this chain of events that led to this tragic event on January 8th that saw this Ukrainian Airlines flight downed and this 176 people killed, Natasha, as you said, dozens of Canadians among them. And of course, as we've talked about many times, dozens more of the people on that flight were actually bound for Canada, residents of Canada and permanent residents of Canada. So it says that this was the key error. It was this human error in aligning the radar, but it gave a few more interesting details, Natasha. One of which is that it said there was a breakdown in the chain of command, so that whoever filed this first missile hadn't heard back yet from their superiors, and that this was one of the reasons that this happened. And it also said that despite the information that was available to the radar operator, he misidentified this aircraft. He did not realize it was a passenger aircraft, and because of that, it was shot down. Now, this is not actually a final report. There apparently will be another report from the Iranian government, so we could get more details, but this is definitely more information than we've had from them before, Natasha.
Meanwhile, the investigation is still ongoing. What can you tell us about what the next steps will be?
Yeah, actually, it's interesting, Natasha, and I think what we have seen is a lot of frustration from Canada, of course, because we had so many nationals on that plane, but other countries as well, about the Iranians' kind of lack of cooperation with this investigation. And key to that is the fact that they still haven't released the black boxes from the plane, and they haven't really answered to why that is. So right now, the latest thing we've heard is that they should be sent to France, and on July 20th, they should be decoded. But we've heard so many times in the last 6 months since this accident happened, Natasha, that this would happen, and it hasn't happened. And there's no real clear idea about why the Iranians have been unwilling to hand over these black boxes. But I think that would be really be the next step. And the other big question, I think, that's on the minds of a lot of people is why the airspace wasn't closed. So, of course, this event happened. This downing of the airline happened on January 8th. It came after the U.S. assassinated this top Iranian military commander, Qasem Soleimani, in Iraq. The Iranians responded by hitting Iraqi military bases that were hosting U.S. troops in Iraq. And then there was when this happened, obviously there was so many tensions, and Iran was on high alert, expecting that possibly the U.S. would retaliate for that. And one of the real questions is, Natasha, why the airspace was not closed at that time to civil traffic. And I think that's a question that a lot of Canadians and a lot of people in the international community are going to want to see answered.
Absolutely. Rebecca Collard in Beirut, thank you so much.